So what the truther community should do with all the evidence we got, there's so much evidence, is we go to the American people now, even fundraise with, there's a lot of millionaires and billionaires that are not part of this system, especially the older people that are retired, and they're very intelligent. They're not going to want to see, a new thing of like a Hitler kind of system rise up. They've made their money, they've retired, and they're not going to back that up for America, probably for anyone in the world for that matter. We go to the public, we let everyone know, we figure out how we're going to do this peacefully and legally, and we start trials. And every single government employee, from the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, DARPA, the police departments, every single employee, good or bad, because this is so big and it's so infiltrated and it's so infected, that everyone needs to be completely legally pulled out. And if they're, I don't even know if we should give them pay or not while we're investigating. I don't think we can afford that, because money's missing until we get that money back. We can promise them pay when that money comes back. And then what we do is we start looking at everything they've done. They were selling off, like, what did they sell off? The Grand Canyon? They sold off a whole bunch of parks for sure. And it wasn't theirs to sell. They made all these laws that are a violation of the Constitution. That makes it non-void. So then we get all of our money back and the property back, and we start working on tech that's going to benefit the American people. Robots with programs and high-tech stuff that benefits us, where we all work basically to maintain everything. And there's enough land and enough everything else for us to definitely enter like a George Jetson kind of thing, where everyone has. And the criminals, we investigate everybody, and if they're guilty and we can't find no proof, then they walk. But we don't let them become ever again a government employee. It would be a special emergency thing. If you were an employee from 1960 to this date here, 2022, 2020, you cannot ever work for the government again, because of the investigations. Evidence been covered up. Some innocent people will be made to look guilty. They frame people all the time. So, and if like it's a guilty cop, he'll probably frame his friend Robert. George, the guilty one, will frame Robert, so George gets to walk. See, on the stuff that he's done. If you do research on a lot of these cops, if you look into their backgrounds, you're gonna find a lot of occult, satanic stuff, devil worship, sacrifices to the devil. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not; they believe it, but they believe it. So even if you don't believe in God or the devil, they obviously do. So if you're a truther, you know what I'm talking about. There's enough evidence. They're waiting for something, that they're delaying. If that trump card is right, if he's the one that says enough is enough, that means he was predicted to show up from the Illuminati 25 years ago. You don't think they have this stuff planned out really good? So there might be just buying time. He might be the closer. I mean, it might be 2 to 6 years away from something that we don't understand, some high tech that we can't even wrap our minds around. So this worthless food eater is going to eat this rice and pudding. Thank you, Lord Jesus, because he gives us everything good. But common sense. We go after the criminals, and we put them away for what they did to everybody, to the kids, what they did to everybody. ASAP. The sooner the better. And you have to understand, we'll shift good people in there. Nothing will crash. We'll do it in a real intelligent way. The first level you want to take out is legally pull out is going to be the top of the government. They get the best pay on top of that. So you want to get regular people in there. They can start making money. They deserve the money because they're good people. And pull the bad people out. Start investigations right away. It'll trickle on down. Pull 20% of the police out in every city and replace them with good people. Then another 20% 6 months later. Then like another 20% 6 months later. And everyone that's in there that's corrupt, I always say about 70%, you pull it all out and you replace it with good people right away. And eventually you'll have a whole complete shift. We start Nuremberg style trials. And we can make them really cheap. We can make paper tables and just like a long line of nooses that stretch to make a statement, that stretch all the way across the desert. We would do it probably in Death Valley. We'll put like 100,000 nooses up or something like that, right? And a lot of these crimes are punishable by death. They're treasonous laws. They're hardcore treasonous laws. Someone planned this out, and I mean a group, and there's a group executing it. So they're well aware of what they're doing. They knew that would happen if they got caught. They knew that would happen if they got caught. So they took the chance. They did what they had to do. And now we do what we have to do. If you just can't go out and do what you want to do. You just can't do that. You know? You would have pure chaos if everyone would just start robbing banks. And I mean, if everyone decided to do that, you would have pure anarchy. We would never recover. If everyone decided to do what they're doing. Just thinking you can do whatever you want. So we have laws there for a reason. The laws are there to protect innocent people, people that are that are not criminal, and it's even there to protect even the criminals from just getting violated. On top of that, they're there for a reason. And the laws, no matter how rich, how poor, how black, how white, how blue, no matter who you are, how powerful, the laws in America, I don't care about other countries, the laws in America are laws for every single person is subject to these laws. And just because you got friends and power, it does not exempt you. The only way you're getting exempt is you're cheating. And when you cheat, that's another crime. And daily, that's a crime. Tomorrow, another crime. It's every day you're doing that, every day is a crime. So that's what we do as truthers. We take the hardcore stuff like Sandy Hook, the gang stalking, Pizzagate. These are the really, really big ones. And then you take some other stuff and you just make a real simple website. We get going on petitions. We get the entire American people to wake up. Eventually, we'll get an emergency channel where it's just the real news. And everyone participates. That's how you know it's fair. Everyone participates. We, the people, have had our power taken away. It's supposed to be 3 powers. And they've taken away our power and they kept it for themselves, Congress and the president. What we do is we make an emergency where we freeze everything up and we start the trials, and we, the people, until everything's cleared up and cleaned up for about 10 years, we will get 70 to 80% of the power. Now, Trump, I think, is a good guy, so it would actually be helping Trump out. If we get going on this now, by 2020, 2021, we can have this completed. An entire shift, Nuremberg-style trials, and everyone pulled out. And if you're innocent and it's happened on your watch, then you're just either incompetent or you're just another victim of the Illuminati. But either way, it's not personal, but it's so infiltrated that we have to fix everyone in the government. It's just too infiltrated. We don't know who's who now. I've never seen anything like this, and it's only going to get worse unless we, the people that have good hearts, we act for safety of the children, like Pizzagate, for safety of our families and for our own selves. I had military men trying to sneak in my window and murder me in cold blood secret on April 18, 2017. And the San Diego Police Department, I called them out. He said, there's no one back there, but you can't look in the backyard. They said, if you call again, you're going to jail. 30 minutes after the officers left, 5 of them. 30 minutes after they left, me and my brother, who stayed the night, we both heard the perpetrator run from the backyard, down our driveway, and off into the streets, confirming that the police department was in on it. This is cold-blooded murder in the first degree. This is planned murder. Because I found out some even worse stuff. That if you knew, you would turn this video off and probably run out door to door, even in your birthday suit. That's how bad it is. I'm staying calm. I'm cool. I'm a Christian, so I'm actually exempt from that bad stuff. But you probably aren't if you're not a Christian. You want to get your heart right with God for sure. Definitely go to Jesus. But as a nation, we have the right for real homeland security, which is the 350 million Americans that are just regular folks. I would say there's about 300 million that are just regular folks, and you got about 50 million corrupt, and you got about 1 million to 2 million that are doing these horrible, horrific operations of genocide, human rights violations, and they're coming for everybody. They're not only coming for a few people, they're coming for everybody. So if you're against that, if you don't want to see that happen where it's too late, then you need to get going on this plan. Okay, Operation Nuremberg 2020.